Girl, stop playing. Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Stop Playing podcast. It's your favorite homegirl, Koereyelle, here to encourage you to stop playing with your potential and start working for what you want in life and in love. Y'all know that I truly, truly believe that you can make the money and you can get the honey. You can have it all as long as you are willing to work. And I love being able to bring you the information and conversation to help you do just that. If you are not tuning in to my live video podcasts that drop each and every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, make sure that you are tapping in by logging on to girlstopplayin.com. That's also where you can log on for replays to get caught up on some of the amazing conversations that we've been having. We talk to wives, couples, single women who are doing the damn thing in an effort to encourage you, to empower you, and to inspire you to go after the life that you were truly born to live. For those of y'all who showed up and showed out for our Ladies Night Live, a live podcast taping of the Girl Stop Playing podcast here in ATL, definitely got to shout y'all out because we had an amazing turnout and I've been getting some really, really great feedback. Now, if you're not in ATL and you were not fortunate enough to join us live in person, don't worry. We are going to be dropping the replays of all three of the episodes that we recorded live, where we got into how to get to the money, how to get that honey, and we had the pleasure of getting into the mind of not just one man, but four men. So you're definitely going to want to tap in when we drop those episodes. Last thing that I have to mention before we get into this week's solo sermon, at the live podcast, I launched my brand new party card game. Pull Your Card is literally the ultimate party game. It is my effort to encourage fellowship, fun, and it's getting a little spicy. Okay. So we are going to add some fire to your next game night, girls trip. So make sure you log on to Pull Your Card, this new card game, and grab your deck. Now, with DJ Khaled's album Going Crazy, everybody talking about this iconic God Did song, I felt like I was just going to go ahead and on the trend. As y'all know, as we talk about each and every week during these solo sermons, God is out here doing the damn thing. And don't judge me when I say God and damn in the same sentence, because God knows my heart and he knows my mouth too. Okay. Me and God got a real good thing going on. I like to say God is on the block. And when I say God is on the block, I mean, he is close to home. He is here with us. He is dropping those blessings, answering those prayers every day of the week. We just got to make sure we stay in position. And so this week, I want to encourage you to keep going, no matter how frustrated you get, no matter how far along you think everyone else is, no matter how many times you fall into thinking that you failed, no matter how often you find yourself wondering if God forgot about you. I need for you to recognize and remember that there are things that you are currently experiencing that you once prayed for. And God did that. I need you to realize that the same God that got you through those situations that you into is still here for you. I need you to see that the things that you envy and admire in others, you're capable of too. You have everything inside of you that they have access to. Every connection that you are yearning for, that you feel like you need, is literally one email away, one phone call away, one. I need for you to believe that what's meant for you cannot miss you. I need you to have faith in knowing that the same God that did it for them has plans to do it for you. It's not a matter of it being possible, because we know that with God, all things are possible. It's literally a matter of you connecting with your purpose so that it can come to pass. Now, I'm not a church girl. Okay. Shout out to Beyonce. I'm not a church girl, but spirituality is definitely my thing. However, there are some promises that the Bible outlines for those of you who use the Bible as a resource. I know how y'all like to do, so I like to make sure that I got some verses to back up what I'm talking about. So a couple of promises that I just want to remind you of. In Joshua chapter 1, verse 9, it says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." That means even when you're down in the valleys, okay, because every moment is not a mountaintop moment. Many moments are not mountaintop moments. But even when you are down and out, when you are broke, busted, and disgusted, frustrated, and stressed out, you got to know that God is with you in those times too. And he's not just sitting back watching. Wait, he's literally reaching out his hand to pull you up. But sometimes we got too many tears in our eyes. Sometimes we got too many negative thoughts in our head that we can't even recognize that that hand is there for us to hold on to. And so you have to understand that even during your struggle, you have to find the strength to be courageous. You have to find the strength to not get discouraged, to understand that even when you feel like you are down and out, God got you. In Psalms 37:4, it says, "Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand." There's that hand again. There's that hand again. Because even when we feel like we should have had it figured out, even when we feel like we've gotten too far off the path, even when we feel like we are a failure, God understands that you might be stumbling, right? You might be stumbling, but you ain't hit the flow. And even when you feel like you hit the flow, trust me, there's much further to go. Okay. It could always be worse. And so having that attitude of gratitude, knowing that God got you, being able and willing to humble yourself when you do stumble is what's going to allow you to reach up and to recognize that God's hand is for you to hold on to the entire way. In Psalms 32:8, it says, "The Lord says, I will guide you along the best pathway for your life. I will advise you and watch over you." So again, he's not just watching, right? And saying, "Oh man, I told you so." He's watching and knowing that he's equipped you with everything you need to pull yourself out of it. But you have to be able to recognize that you have those tools. You have to be able to recognize that you already have in you every single thing you need to get whatever it is that you want. You just got to be willing to do the work for it. You just got to be willing to not wait on someone to come along and give it to you. I truly, truly believe that nobody's coming to save us. We have to realize and recognize and be willing to save ourselves. The key to seeing God fulfill those promises is your faith. It's not growing weary or discouraged or fearful, even when you feel forgotten. It's understanding that even when things appear to be going wrong, it's part of God's plan. There's some lessons that you got to learn, some lessons that you need to learn now before the stakes get too high. I always say, my life is nowhere near perfect. I make mistakes every single day. And I go through things just like the next person, which is where I get the inspiration for these solo sermons. And I always say, I would much rather learn these $1,000 lessons, even $100,000 lesson, a six-figure lesson. I would much rather learn that than $1 million lesson. I would much rather feel like a failure, even though we know, it ain't no such thing as a failure, always a lesson learned. But I would much rather go through those things now than when the stakes are really high, than when there's really a whole lot on the line, right? I would rather go through those things as a solopreneur than when I have a staff of people who are depending on me and looking to me to be the leader, right? And so you have to understand that it's all a part of the plan, that a lot of the things that we see as being failures are really meant to fuel us so that when we get to that next level, we already know how to handle everything that's coming our way. I mean, how many times have we made up in our minds how we wanted things to go? Maybe if you're like me, You even tried to force some things to happen for you, only for God to have to show you once again that his way always works out for your greater good. When we try to force things, it's never right. I truly, truly believe that my God is constantly working behind the scenes to place me on the right path. But sometimes, if I'm being honest, I'm too blinded by what I think I want instead of trusting that God knows what I need. Sometimes I'm in too much of a hurry to have my way that I end up getting in the way. And then I find myself wondering why things aren't working out. What we have to believe is that God created us for a greater purpose than what we could even imagine. What we have to believe is that God will provide clarity on what he's calling us to tap in, what he's calling us to, if we tap in, tune in, and listen in for long enough. Let me say that again. We got to believe that God will provide clarity on what he's calling us to if we can only tap in, tune in, and listen in for long enough. And for me, that tapping and tuning and listening in is meditation. So it's being diligent in my meditation, understanding that prayer is me, a lot of times requesting. Well, it used to be. I've changed the way in my evolution. I've changed the way that I pray. So I'm not just rattling off a laundry list of requests and wishes that I'm hoping, God blesses me with. Now my prayers are more gratitude, things that I'm thanking God for, even things that I'm thanking God for in advance. They may not have come to pass yet, but I have full faith that they're on their way if it's in alignment with his assignment. Because again, you can think that you know what you want and it's in no relation. It's not even close to what you need. So making sure that we are doing our job to not only pray in gratitude, be thankful, but then the meditating, on the other hand, is you getting your answers. It's you being quiet for long enough for God to start talking to you. So prayer is us talking to God. Meditation is us listening. It's us allowing ourselves, our mind to quiet down for long enough to actually get those answers that we're praying for. I truly, truly believe that God will redirect us as many times as it's necessary until we recognize the purpose that he's placed in us. 3 things that God did and will continue to do. Number 1, God did equip us with every gift, skill, talent, and tool needed to carry out our life's purpose. But it's up to us to choose to walk on the path of that purpose every single day. This isn't just some decision that you make on the first of the month and then miraculously by the end of the month, things are just falling into line. This is a daily decision, a conscious effort every single day to do what you know you need to do, even when we don't get it, even when we don't understand where it's leading, even when we feel like we are losing. We got to be willing to give it over to God and trust that he will give it back tenfold according to his perfect timing and his assignment. The second thing, we got to understand that God did give us free will. And sometimes that's what gets us into trouble. Because although he has a vision for us, we like to focus on our current view instead of leaning into our faith for long enough to see the mission through. But we got to allow God to use us instead of what we typically do, which is allowing people to abuse us. And number 3, God did and continues to do exactly what he promised. But we have to make sure that we're holding up our end of the bargain. We got to stay true to our assignment, stay in alignment with that assignment, and realize that the only one who can help us fulfill our destiny is the God who designed it. This week, I want you to be encouraged to know that every single thing that's happening in your life is happening for you, through you, and not to you. That every single thing that you're going through or struggling with is designed to prepare you for the next season, even if that means that you're being forced to spend some time in solitude. Regardless of how things appear, just know that God got you. He didn't forget about you. He won't leave you, and he has greater for you than the good that you're currently settling for. I love you. I want nothing but love for you. And I hope that you are feeling inspired and encouraged to go out there and continue allowing God to work through you. I'll see you on the next episode.